Give me 1 second, 1 second. We're live? Oh, sorry. So, Hare Krishna and welcome to the next Japa workshop. I don't put the microphone in because we're just having a review of how everyone's Japa has been. But Gita, if I don't give you the microphone, no one will hear you ever. So that's why I wanted to stop you.
Very well. Yeah, so I just said that my Japa was better this week. A mix of chanting during Japa time and then going on chanting in the nature. It's been nice fall weather, and yeah, it was nice sitting like at the top where you can see like a big landscapes, because somehow it gave me so much peace of mind, and actually doesn't give me that much distractions. It actually takes stuff away when there's just like landscapes and like a beautiful sky, and yeah, it's really nice.
It was funny because you asked that question a couple of workshops ago about is it better to sit or like Japa walk is also nice, and I gave the reply basically better to sit. And then just because you mentioned it already, I had actually not a good week of chanting. There was some sort of emotional stuff going on, which is a joy for us ladies in particular, when it was something serious. It was to do about someone being sick, but it was still a material factor, but it was always pushing in on Japa time. And no matter different techniques were not quite helping. So then I just felt I have to take a little more care with the, thank you, Mariana. Better you than me, I have no idea. Take a walk. So I took a walk not early, but early, like around 7:30, 8 o'clock. And there's something very quiet about the nature in this time, right? Very quiet. And I tried in that moment to think, okay, I don't just want to just walk because there were a lot of confused thoughts. But let me try to focus on the chanting, but very slowly as I walked. So it was an hour and a half, and maybe I got around 4 or 5 rounds. Very little in that way in terms of the timing, but they were very nice rounds. And then finally I ended up by the lake, and there I could chant a bit more concentrated, like also when you just focused on, and the lake was so still that it had a complete reflection of the trees. So in that moment I thought of this passage in the Bhagavad Gita, which talks about this world being a perverted reflection. Because I find in everyday life, sometimes when we talk of in relation to a relationship to Krishna, it's a little bit like, sometimes it's like a relationship to the mystical being. It can be a little bit out of grasp. Sorry, so in one sense, it's like how to make something that is spiritual be present here. And one way or the other, that's the point of the Japa workshop. It has to work in a way that you're feeling connected. So that was one, what I would say, troubleshooting point. If you're sitting down and nothing is really working and you're just weighed down by a million sorrows or whatever is going on, or too tired, it is good to then move around a little bit, at least to the point. If you're really short of time and you can't just do some exercise, some pranayama, something that will give some life, then it's just to move slowly and then try to chant. This is at least something that I say that works for me. And the other point I spoke about too was chanting, and to the point that, say, last time it seemed everyone was coming in just as we were trying to concentrate, and it was a door shut in here and this, and the mind is anyway like that, right? One subject and the rest. So what do we do in one moment to be able to chant that no matter what distraction comes up, it doesn't matter, And on that, I wanted to say, though, we shouldn't use the chanting as an excuse to ignore others. You know what I mean? Like, it's happened, I heard in communities, that a child was crying and the lady went to the mother and said, your child, and she just sort of held up a bead bag, right? And she said, and then this lady was just like, so it's like we cannot be neglectful, right? Because we're saying in the chanting, dear Radha Krishna, please let me serve you. And sometimes it does happen. We chanted some nice rounds, and just in that moment, someone comes and asks, Madaji, could you just give me this? Can you just do this? And you're like, okay, right. But okay, let me try to see what it means here. Let's just try to see, okay, let me try to see what happens in that flow. And often in those moment something beautiful may happen. Sometimes we don't make it. I think Dara asked me for something and I'm like, not now, please. So apologies. But in one sense, with our japa, when we home in, we can also get through this 16 rounds, but like literally like a mechanical watch. Take Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, oh yeah, you know, like it's just gone through. Many of us have spent so much time. And last week when we spoke about Sambandha, like relationship to Krishna, we went in onto one level. And the next level, which I already hinted for the message or around, was today, it's entitled Our Time Alone with Radha Krishna. When we chant, this is our time. What is that noise? Oh, it's a car, I think. When we are chanting, this is our time to be with Radha Krishna. If maybe Radha Krishna calls Srimanjari in this moment in time. When I was once in Serbia, in the Srishta camp, you can't find them. You can't find Radha Krishna. We were in a Serbian camp, and we had to do a play, and the play was... It's not your phone, it's your own. Oh, she always calls when I'm with you. When we had to do a play where we had to imagine that we could call Krishna. So we had a special phone. That was what the play was about, a phone where we could call Krishna. And it was funny because I was in my mid-20s, and my first thing was like, oh, that's so nice. Imagine, you know, like something comes up, you're not really sure, you ask a friend, ask the senior, but you're not quite sure. And then you can phone Krishna. So in this moment, it's like, it felt like a very far off feeling, but actually during the play, it became more apparent that at one moment, our prayers and our internal dialogue is a conversation that we're really actually having with God. It's a conversation with God. And sometimes we may not put as much weight into it as actually what it actually means. There's a beauty behind it, and it's part of that awakening of that relationship. If when we chant, which is many of us, and that was what was nice about the German yatra, is just keeping it real, like how's it going last week? Terribly. One lady said like a catastrophe, you know, with the chanting, older Mataji. So what it's happening mostly, from what I've heard, is we're chanting, and as we're Hare Krishna, it's like, why was my grandmother calling me then? Why was that happening there? Oh, there was nice prasadam there. It was like a whole, why was she speaking like, if I speak? So it's like, you know, I'm speaking to Gita, or I'm meant to be speaking to her, but the whole time I'm just speaking over here. And you're trying to sort of talk to me, and I'm like, la la la, what? La, la, la. You know, look, the whole time it's like this for a lot of us, right? This conversation is going crazy. But if there is not that fine feeling of what this relationship is, it's easy for it to be like this. If we don't understand that at that moment, did we pick up that japa, our japa, that we're having that conversation with Krishna, then the other conversations, you know, when someone is physically present, it's easier, right? Than some spiritual being sometimes. For me, it's a bit, you know, it's easier because Nrsingadev is very present here too. But one has to hone more and more, right, into this relationship. So on that, and deepening what we did last time, I'll just read what Satchidananda Swami wrote in the book. He says that some of us can access deeper levels of awareness by writing. A few years ago, someone sent him a very special gift by mail, an envelope containing a picture of a blue hand holding a bamboo flute. He said it was obvious it was Krishna's hand. And in this hand, there was a little handwritten note which said, "Trying to connect with you." And underneath was his signature, Satchidananda Swami. How intriguing, he thought. It was a letter written like to the Lord that Krishna had kept, saying, "Trying to connect with you," signed from him. So, and he writes here he would like to inspire us to write our own letter to Krishna. It will take, I'll give the pen and paper if you don't have in a moment. It's a letter that we'll write in what's called free writing style. The main rule for this writing is not to stop writing, for a specific time period and to dig a bit deep. Burujan Prabhu, so senior disciple of Srila Prabhupada, often used this technique that basically makes us write more into what's called stream of consciousness. That element where we don't inhibit ourselves. We just write. This letter is completely private. I think I never ever shared any of my letters that I wrote. You come for the workshop, or you just came to see the Lord?
I came to see the Lord.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, come, you can go. Yeah, you just come. Yeah.
Japa first. Do some chanting lessons?
We do a Japa workshop, yes. But first we write a letter.
I did this 2 years before.
Try to do it again. I've done it. This would be my 4th time.
I still have it at home.
You have it. Write today and see. Compare the two. It's amazing because when you do this over some years, then you also see how the consciousness changed over that time. And it's not a better or worse, but it's definitely usually development. So hopefully we begin a trend. Okay, so Madhu, come along or stay or whatever you like. But somehow shut the... Yeah, you can go. It's okay. You have family now. I understand. Huh? So what we will write... Actually, I'll give the pieces of paper out already so you know. But that's it. Oh, is there any questions on the technique that we will use? I would say we have a longer period of time, so we have 15 minutes. Is that too long? Okay, so so we have lined paper, not so much lined paper. Okay, yeah, please keep the lined paper. And what we're writing on is my present relationship with you, dear Krishna, and how I wish to improve it. That's the subject. Please don't start anyone yet, right? Just see. What we're trying to do in this exercise, what's written here, is to go more and more internal until we find some genuine feelings, perhaps feelings of separation, I miss you, Krishna, or some other feeling we wish to communicate. We are trying to connect with Krishna from wherever we are, with whatever is inside. So I'll just explain this. When you're writing and you're not sure on this topic and you have a moment, you can even write, I'm not sure what I should write now. I don't know what's happening with this subject, Krishna, what's going on. Apart from no, is everyone else happy with 15 minutes or does that seem too long? Dara, du kannst auch in deine Muttersprache schreiben, like if it's easier, right? In Arabic or Schweizerdeutsch. Schweizerdeutsch, yeah. I heard it's different. Then it would all be like code, or? I mean, Nitai would be able to read Narayanese. No one would be able to understand a Swedish message. Dara, you look confused. Was ist? Wartest du auf mich oder ist es okay? Klar? Okay. Oh, no, warte. So, please, as comfortable as you like. This is completely... so people at home, please stop your video, find a piece of paper, do the exercise with us, piece of paper, find a pen. I have a pencil. Does it work? Yes, I have a pencil. You might want to do, because I didn't do it, you might just want to write the year that we're doing this in. So on the top right, I was convinced it was 2025. Today's the 17th, yeah. I just say that because I have, of the 4 letters, only one of them has a year from 4 years ago. So I'm trying to figure out. So we have the letters. So please, the theme, again, is my present relationship with you and how I wish to improve it. In a minute, not right yet, we will just begin on this theme. Sajjananda Swami describes, if your relationship is not so active at the present moment, if you feel only a desert within, no problem, write about this. Be honest, make that your connection, express something, go deep. Take your time with this exercise and give it your best. If you write this from a real place, it will certainly reach Krishna. You can also place your letter before the deity or picture of the Lord. So this is what we're doing in this moment. The letter could be entitled Dear Krishna. It could be entitled Dear Nrsingadev. However you would like to begin in that way. And please try to write it as if you were, speaking or writing directly to the Lord. In 30 seconds we begin. So just meditate on this theme for a moment. My present relationship with you, dear Lord, and how I wish to improve it. Get yourself into a comfortable position, and then I will time 15 minutes, and every 5 minutes I will just do a reminder, so people may want to stop at a certain point. Then the only rule, like I said, is not to stop the writing when you've begun. It's a little bit of a can feel an odd technique, but it's really just to keep the flow running. Okay, so please begin in your own time now. Present relationship with you, dear Krishna, and how I wish to improve it. Almost like 5 minutes have gone. Five minutes left of the stream of consciousness, but afterwards you can continue writing for a few minutes, those who are, in it. 2 minutes before the end of our 15-minute session. For those of you who have finished, just to say, please read through your letter and underline any points which struck you as more, that resonated with you more. You will find some parts which maybe like not so engaging, other parts which go through. Sometimes you may even see something, wow, did I write that? Was I feeling that? It's good also to see those aspects. To read your own letter and then underline any points which were somehow significant. Remember, no one's going to see this letter. It's like your part. It's that part of the exercise is like when you write something. You know, now it's quite some length. To find that part which really feels like, okay, that was significant for me, or this was somehow something that touched me more than other parts. Yeah. And when you've done that, those who want to, you can also privately read it if you like to the Lord, quietly in your head if you want to, because the Lord is sitting in front of us. This we give a couple more minutes to, right? Just to read through and highlight that. Was it clear? You just find the parts which somehow resonate more. I find this is quite an amazing exercise when you will look through it also in your private time a little bit later, because it captures a moment of consciousness in this time. Another minute or so. When you've finished the letter, just somehow look a little bit in my direction so I know, okay, that some of you are. This is homework. In our writing, we enter a space a little closer with Radha and Krishna. When we chant, it's actually our time to be alone with the Lord. It's a special moment which can take us far away from all the runnings of this world. And sometimes we may believe it's not real, but actually this world with Radha and Krishna is more real than any other world. And each of that, we have this next exercise, which also requires for you all to find a comfortable place to sit. I see someone writing, that's okay. For those who don't want to do this exercise because they're really into writing, this is also okay. But for the others, please get yourself comfortable on a chair or a seat with your bead bags in your hand. I would prefer to put the lighting a little bit down. What do you think, Gita? A little bit down the lighting, just to, it may affect the writers, but okay. So we try to enter into a meditation. Please feel comfortable in your sitting position. Try to relax. Relax your shoulders. Just feel a bit comfortable how you are. And it would probably be best in this moment if you could close your eyes as we enter into this meditation. Imagine you are completely alone. Let everything around you slowly and gently disappear. Bring your attention to what is going on in your life, but let it slip away. Your relationships with your relatives and friends, and let them go as well. Your job, your important responsibilities, your future desires, let them just all go. Imagine you are now absolutely alone. You may imagine yourself sitting on the banks of the Yamuna, or at Giriraj, or at your own favorite place. You feel completely safe and spiritually connected. Become aware that in your truest being, you are an eternal spiritual soul, an eternal servant of Radha and Krishna. It is only due to some misfortune that you have been absent from that relationship. But now your fortune has turned. You have finally learned about your real identity as a pure spirit soul, completely separate from the gross and subtle body. You have been inspired to take up the path of eternal, loving service to their lordships, to Radha and Krishna. Now, see in your mind's eye that Radha and Krishna are before you. No one else. You have the opportunity to chant for their pleasure. Wrap yourself up in this one relationship and feel bhakti rise in your heart. Turn to the Lord within your heart, or turn to Lord Nrsimhadev, seeing him as Lord Krishna. Pray in this way. I surrender to you, Shri Shri Radha Krishna. Whatever is mine is in truth your property. Everything is for your sake. Everything is for your enjoyment. Nothing is meant for my enjoyment. In this state of consciousness, let us try to chant for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna. We will begin together, then please find your own rhythm. Take your bead bags. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Svati Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Only for you, dear Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Imagine if Radha and Krishna are really there with you. Reach for them in your chanting. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Krishna Alone with Krishna, you asked by chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. Please keep chanting until you've completed one round. Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Nam Nam Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Nam Nam Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Nam Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Nam Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. As the curtains close, please imagine in your mind's eye that Radha and Krishna are standing in front of you and looking upon you as you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Nam Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Nam Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Nam Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Nam Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Nam Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Nam Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Nam 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Nam Nam Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Some are still chanting, some are still writing. I hope that was a little step towards this aspect of going a little deeper in a relationship. Doing such meditation and also writing helps us to bring us a little closer to understanding where we're at in that relationship. And we can often see the places which may need improving. That's the point. We're on a journey together, right? Some steps. Most of us join the Hare Krishna movement, some part of us knowing that we are different from others out there. So let us also be different in the way where people may pick up the bead bag and say, oh, no, let's do a different approach. Like, wow, amazing that in this lifetime, this opportunity has arisen that I can enter my relationship with Radha and Krishna through a special mantra known to so many, but without those really knowing the magic there. The point behind that too is if that magic or that understanding that this is essentially deepening our relationship with Radha Krishna, if that has not entered in a deeper place, it's like you owe it. We owe it to ourselves to get to that place where we understand. That's the point. It's not that it comes, but usually through practical experience of going in, we push it through. It's difficult to ever reach that place if we continue with the mechanical chanting. And don't get me wrong, we'll have bad days, good days where the mind, but sometimes there are moments where we will touch an moment with our japa that we feel we are just there with Radha and Krishna. And those moments are enough to keep us going. I'm sort of inspired, but I need to know if maybe one day in Kartik we try and aim for a 64-round day. I'm not sure, yeah? Because it's not so often that I've done 64 rounds, but usually it's as we build up, and it takes like a whole charge. We have to really clear out other things in the day completely just for those rounds. But I thought, I don't know, it came to me. So over the next days when you see me, if somehow you're inspired, it's an amazing experience to do together, because it's like we go in and there's normally for most of us a time in between where we can't do this, too much, can't take it, not sure. And we keep going, and at some moment it's like an amazing marathon that one goes through. It's really an amazing feeling, I have to say. So have any of you chanted 64 rounds in a day here? One, two, so a few of you, but less than half, right? So why not? I don't know. I'm just thinking, I'm thinking, why not Kartik then? Huh? But we have to build it up to a certain place. And then we would have to really plan it. The times that we did was that we began, but we obviously began early. And then over the time we had very short moments where there was another meditation, but short because we need that time just to get us into the focus back in. Then in our own space and then. Oh, I ate. It depends what you're like. I'm not a natural faster and a pitta type, so, but feed me. And you can also speak to me, it's like a whole, I'm good to go. It's like, the nice thing here is we don't need to take the time to prepare the prasada. We just need to go there and put it in and then go. So this was, and I think none of us, in the ones I did on our retreats, we all ate. We were all eating. When I tried to chant 64 rounds on Bin Makadashi, I had real trouble, I have to say. So actually, the eating was good for me, And drinking, obviously, because you're using. Okay, but just a thought. I know that some people would like to go for first day. I also am a little bit, to see Radhasham Gopal for Damodar Astakam there. So I hope it's okay that we missed the one-to-one, but please take the time to read over your letters. I see some of you felt quite connected. Some were like, okay, let's just do it. But you never know. Afterwards, it may have more significance, especially if there was some struggle or something. Gita, you please take longer time to read because you wrote so much. Because there will be some parts which may, because you wrote it yourself, will just touch you to the point you're like, whoa, And those sometimes are parts which are really calling out to us. Okay. Hare Krishna. We will run to the next program. What did you think of the music? What was this? Hare Krishna. You liked it? I was not sure. The first one I ran and then